The media is freaking out over The Savant. Is it ever going to premiere? The series was pulled from Apple TV's schedule a month ago, and things have gotten weirder since then. We already had articles from him about how it was making a huge mistake postponing The Savant in the wake of the Charlie Kirk shooting. Jessica Chastain was like, I am not aligned with halting it, because while I wish this show wasn't so relevant, unfortunately, it is. We've got this weird over-examination of the Apple TV website going on, where did you notice that the language for the landing page has changed? It's vacillated. You see, when you're being a paranoid lunatic, it helps make you appear more intellectual and more like a deluded nutcase when you use pretentious words like vacillated. It wouldn't have that kind of air of superiority if they just went, the words have changed from coming soon to at a later date to simply 2025, only to change back to at a later date. Now I know what you're thinking. What is this deluded bint talking about? No, not me. I mean, the article. Yes, it is understandable that they miss their next episode of Clitlit. And it's like, no, you can't not release it. I need to discuss this with my friends. This was a show for your average barren harpy.
They catfish people online.
Who could get to see a live-action version of their latest Clitlit. For instance, Barbarian's Mate. Resonance was supposed to be a dream when your soulmate is chosen for you. Everyone else is hooked up with this big, hunky soulmate of their own, except me. My soulmate was my least favourite person on the darn ice planet. Hayden is the most cranky, disapproving, unpleasant, overbearing male alien. But why is it that my body sings when he gets so close? You could use that same description for the Savant.
We need to infiltrate further. It's massive.
I mean, yes, he may be one of those white male individuals fueled by the foundations of any civilized society, but he talks cruelly and candidly to online people about why America should be American. It was a straightforward, non-controversial story about one woman trying to stop bad people by shagging them one man at a time.
It's massive.
If she had to get her end away to save the world, that's a price she was going to pay. As long as it were a 6-foot muscle-bound hunk with a six-pack.
Thought this was a no-work weekend, Mom.
What do you do in there all day? All night sometimes.
If not getting laid makes men aggressive, then the Savant was really going to put those hours in to solve the problem. With this in mind, it's more obvious why this article is, well, I think they had other things on their mind when they come out with sentences like, soon means soon, later means later, and 25 literally means this calendar year. Don't judge her too harshly. I'm sure she was re-watching her review copy for the article while rubbing one out harder than Zeus. We're lucky this article had spell check. It's difficult to type properly one-handed. And vibrating. That's why they're making the argument that essentially changing the wording so they all mean the same thing is actually a sign of far deeper, more important psychological issues at Apple. But I'm not paranoid, I promise. Apple really are out to stop me watching my Clitlit. It was going to be the first time they saw it in live action. Well, recently anyway. A spokesperson for Apple TV did not respond to the Hollywood Reporter's request for comment. The studio also declined. I don't know why. I can't believe they didn't respond to someone going, why are you changing the wording on your website to mean the same thing? They're there, I'm sure, dealing with multi-million-dollar corporations, dealing with budgets in the tens or hundreds of millions of dollars per series, and you're there to take up their time about them changing the name from soon to later. Now, the reviews were embargoed till the day before the series released, but that got delayed when the series wasn't released. But now the Apple Screener site simply states all reviews under strict embargo until further notice. So many synonymous vagaries! Not to be confused with synonymous vagrancies, although that does tend to happen to journalists when they write articles such as this one. Now, I have never seen the media get so moist so instantaneously over a trailer. It was kind of wild. It was like, oh, this Jessica Chastain Savant's too close to the sun shines in the scarily believable thriller. It's a tense series that'll linger with you for days. It was everything the media wanted it to be. It targeted the people they despised. The hero was them. Are you a woke harpy from California? Don't worry, we put one in the series. And it really allowed them to project onto the character, to immerse themselves into that personality, because it was so like them. Yes, the Savant could sense evil. She could detect whether someone was about to commit violence by a very unique method.
Said he was getting rid of all of his But all of a sudden, he's on the verge of serious violence.
Guessing.
How do you know that for sure?
That's why we call her the Savant.
This guy just sold his Lego collection on eBay and she went, I can smell testosterone. We've got to remove that from society. Who do you think you are? James Cameron. Although I will say, if he wanted testosterone purged from his system, he's been extremely successful in that regard. In fact, if I wanted advice on how to become an estrogen-filled tart, I would go to James Cameron. But as the Savant can tell the behaviour of men, she's an insightful wench, you see. You sell one Warhammer figure on eBay, she'll be all over you. It was another piece of the jigsaw that allowed the old sows to feel like they were represented in the show. Because like, oh, she's retarded as well. So I can understand why so many of them are missing the show, and they desperately want it to be released. Just like me. Tatiana Maslany may have let me down when it comes to Disney. She can't go a week without slapping Bog Iger around the face. And cancelling Willow will go down in history as one of the greatest tragedies of the 21st century. But the Savant could have made up for it, as we find out in their review. I do like this, though. Ahead of this story being published, THR requested an update from Chastain's direct spokesman. We did not immediately receive a response. I sent an email, you didn't reply in 3 seconds. What you doing? Are you cheating on me with other journalists? The way they talk about this story is like an addict. People always talk about how blokes are addicted to filth. She's like, no, I need my live action spice. Why is it my body sings when he gets close? I hate him, don't I? How is that any different from the review of, she's there to identify and stop these men before they carry out heinous hate crimes. They're saying hurty words on the internet. I hate him, don't I? Although he does have a six-pack. Oh, he's polarizing. He dares to talk about hot-button subjects. He is every single one of the left's worst beliefs. And don't you know he's one of those racist woods dwellers? An elf? I mean, look, love, I know you've probably read quite a few books about monsters ravaging people in your time, but not everything has to be some kind of wood-dwelling monster creature. Is there one about them living in a forest? There's a savage stranger waiting nearby, watching me, and when he takes me captive, I resonate to him. I don't know if this guy's ever been around anyone before. He's truly a barbarian in all ways, right down to clubbing me over the head and claiming me as his own. Why is it that I crave his touch and hunger for more?
It's massive.
Now, admittedly, he lives on an ice planet. There's not many forests there. But isn't this not the same thing? Almost every white male that they absolutely despise in the series is a terrible person, griping about various groups that she identifies with. And at the risk of sounding like a sympathizer for the antagonists, they are pretty cartoonishly bad guys. Almost like they're barbarians, clubbing her over the head and claiming her as one of their own. Now, the thing is, you could do a story about this if you actually made it realistic. That's the main problem with the series. It is complete fantasy. Just like their idea that anyone rubbing one out to this show harder than a motorized sander could actually get with Master Chief. If they actually made it realistic, it would obviously be targeting Californians. You'd have to have the good guys actually going after the bad guys and, you know, SWAT team swinging into a Hassan's house to rescue his dog. But they couldn't do that because it would destroy the point of the show. The show is obviously propaganda first. It's meant to push a message and sort of alienate good, moral people of the universe so it can preach to the other side of, no, don't go over them, stay with us, we're the good guys. Yes, sacrifice another child, please. But this is also the kind of story that you get when a niche minority starts making mainstream entertainment. They make shows for them, and what are they interested in? The same thing that destroyed fantasy literature. Basic stories about a woman getting involved with a savage and, wouldn't you know, she actually likes it. Of just coming face to face with the barbarian, the animal, the monster, the thing that they can't control, the thing that'll tell them no. And that, really, when it comes to the Savant, is what the response should have been to the bitch. Because now Apple is stranded with a TV show they can't put on because it's too unrealistic. If they release the show, every single scene they try and go, these people are responsible for violence, it would be countered with a real life situation that was happening every day around the time this was supposed to be released, from the same people that they're trying to pitch as heroes. Everybody knew this was the case. They know they're lying. That's why when it came to the marketing for this show, they couldn't take it seriously themselves.
All right. Let's talk about your new show.
Let's talk about extremism.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to put on that we're talking about really serious, important subject matter. But their actions, their attitude, and the things they surrounded it by revealed their true feelings, that it was all a joke. It's not meant to be serious. It's not meant to be realistic. They're not actually scared of what they're talking about.
Thank you, Chef.
Good mute.
Thank you, Chef. Oh, look at this. I would like to show you my cucumber.
It's literally the first line in a Me Too story.
There it is.
You're kidding me, Jimmy.
All right. Let's talk about your new show.
Let's talk about extremism.
If any other show had got released, it wouldn't have this kind of response. They wouldn't be writing articles about how it was a huge mistake. And we know they wouldn't, because in the very same article, they list loads of shows that got delayed and suspended for reasons just like this, and weren't treated with the same level of desperation to get it out, to be shared with. Because shows like The FBI, Shooter, The Last Ship, Mr. Robot, and Hannibal, they were all dramas. They were character-driven stories. They weren't the Savant, the story about the show that reaffirmed themselves, that they could project themselves onto and go, no, actually, I matter. I'm important. I can save the world because I will sacrifice myself for others by shagging this muscle-bound hunk.
It's massive.
It's not that I want to. In fact, he disgusts me. Everything about him repulses me. But then again, he's a cranky, disapproving, unpleasant, overbearing male. And I hate him, don't I? When it comes to the Savant, one thing's for certain. Methinks the lady doth protest too much. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. More videos like this in the future. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.